All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for joining the Conversational Interfaces Academy. Hello from all around the country, all around the world, all around the time zones. For those on the US side, hope you all had a good, happy Thanksgiving weekend and holiday. Again, as always, for information about Virtual Agent and NLU, visit our visit our community site for content and experts. And then, we also have a community forum for Agent Chat, AWA, and Sidebar as well. All our academies are recorded, so if you want to watch this academy later, or if you want to share this academy recording with your peers and colleagues and friends later, you can do so on YouTube. If you're watching this currently on YouTube and you like what you're seeing, click that like and subscribe button. That way you're notified each time a new video is dropped, such as this one that we're about to do right now. So today we're going to talk about how to configure the Microsoft Teams integration in the Vancouver release. Okay, so I know I've done Teams integration videos before. I think the last one I did was for the Quebec release, maybe. So the steps to configure it have changed slightly. And because of that, I wanted to show that to you. There are also new configuration options I wanted to show you in terms of how to change the behavior of the Teams integration. Some of it documented, some of it not documented, which number one, we're going to fix because everything should be documented. And number two, this is why I'm showing you in the Academy today. And then we'll talk about some of the new features, or at least one new feature that is available in the Vancouver release of the Teams integration. For those of you who already have the Teams integration, here's some things that you could try out when you upgrade to Vancouver and when you upgrade to the latest Store App version. So the latest Store App version for the Vancouver release is version 6.0. All right. So that's the major release. And then I believe the latest release is 6.1. All right. So you can feel free to update to either one of those two releases. And the newest feature in the Teams integration in Vancouver is message extensions. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Microsoft Teams, or perhaps familiar with third-party applications of Microsoft Teams, you may be familiar with message extensions. We ServiceNow, we did not invent that. Microsoft did. We're merely using it. And it's a three-dot menu in the chat bar that allows users to perform activities, right? And for us, we are allowing users to look up answers via AI search. So you can use AI. We've embedded AI search in message extension, and we can share results, AI search results, with people that you chat with. So you can share KB articles, catalog items, people cards, either in a Teams channel or in a user chat. And other users can then view that AI search result. And if they're ServiceNow employees, they can click to view that item in portal, right? You can also configure via system properties how many search results appear, as well as whether or not you want search results to appear that are only available for guest users, right? If you're chatting with a non-ServiceNow employee or with a guest user or not. Okay, and we'll show all that. So let's jump straight to the demo. Now, this demo is going to be partially recorded and partially live. Partially recorded because I want to show you how the integration is installed, and then we'll jump over, and then we may do some things in the video. I may do some pausing, etc. And then I'll show you, live instance. Okay, post installation, what does it look like? Okay. So that said, let me pause the screen share so I can switch over to the video, and I'll do some narration while I'm at it. I first go to the Conversational Interfaces homepage to set up my integration. Okay, and you can kind of see in my other tab, I have my Microsoft 365 admin console on. That's just to, so I go to channels and routing. Let me see if there's a way to slow it down. But anyway, I hope you just saw I went to, that's the beauty of video. I can, do it again and again, right? So I go to the Conversational Interfaces homepage. I go to Settings tab. and I'm in general, and you see right there in the third row, channels and routing. Okay, so that's where all the third-party messaging app integrations installation pages are anymore. Okay, it's no longer I know we used to have a message integrations page separately. No longer. It is all in the homepage. So you go here, and then this is where you install any of your messaging app integrations, and you'll see them all of them available. Loading soon. Okay. So yeah, you see like Slack, Teams, Workplace, Facebook Messenger, and Line. And if I were to have scrolled down, you can kind of peek at the bottom there, Twilio, etc. Right? So you first have to install the conversational integration plugin. All right. So you can tell here, I've only installed the Teams integration plugin. That allows me to get that purple button called Add Integration. And for everything else, it tells me to install the plugin, right? So once I do that, I could now click on Add Integration. Now I have two options. I can either integrate with Now Virtual Agent, which is the basic step, which is what we're going to do. If you need to, you can also integrate with a self-configured bot. And a self-configured bot is basically a separate bot separate from the out-of-box application, Teams application that we give you. There are a couple of reasons why you may want a self-configured bot. Number one is if you're a GCC customer, if you're a government community cloud customer, you need to use a self-configured bot because GCC doesn't allow the type of Microsoft Teams application that we use by default. Okay. The other reason you may want to use a self-configured bot is if you are a customer with an instance that is perhaps geographically far from the United States. And the reason for that is the Now Virtual Agent application, the Teams application, the way the ServiceNow Teams architecture works, we use a collaboration proxy. Some of you may be familiar with that. And that collaboration proxy is located in the United States. So we do have customers in like Asia Pacific, in South America, in East Europe, where the performance of the Teams messaging back and forth is slow because it has to, it's a matter of physics, has to go through the collaboration proxy in the United States. Well, if that's a problem for you, you can use a self-configured bot which does not use the collaboration proxy, and that may speed up your performance if you're in some faraway country distance-wise. Okay, so for now, we're going to just select Integrate with Now Virtual Agent. Okay, and it's going to ask to sign into your Microsoft 365 account. You should be an admin for both ServiceNow and a 365 account. For example, this is my admin console from Microsoft 365. I can add users, etc. You can see my email address is not at servicenow.com because I know I'm not the admin for ServiceNow's 365 instance, but it's my own tenant, I'll call it, for Microsoft, VWCHEN, right? You can see that's my email address and my user profile. You need that email address also in the user profile for ServiceNow, and I can show that to you if I remember. That is how auto linking occurs. It uses the email address. Okay, if so, for all your users in your 365 account, it needs to have their email address that you have in their ServiceNow profile. That's how the auto linking works later on. Okay, so yeah, just showing you the admin console, and when I go back to here, it tells you, great, you successfully integrated Microsoft Teams with Now Virtual Agent. Simple as that. Now I can click Go to Microsoft Teams, and it'll open up the Teams client for me, at least the web version. Okay, so if I go to chat, well, to add the app, I first have to go to the three-dot menu here, or apps, and I search for Now Virtual Agent. And, I had it installed here already, and I click it to access the Now Virtual Agent app. Now, not every user has to do this, and not every end user has to do this. If you are an admin, you will most likely deploy this app to all your users via your Teams admin console. Okay, So once that app is deployed, anyone could, any user can click into it and they can start chatting with the uh, Now Virtual Agent app. So they start high, and it's just, the first time you ping it, it takes a little bit of a while. I guess the beauty of videos, I can speed this up if I need to, or do I show you something? Oh yeah, so if I go back, now that I've installed the integration, if I go back to this channels page, you can see that I now have one Microsoft Teams integration, which I can manage. I click on that manage button. And you can see my tenant, remember VW Chen, that is now there. That's my app ID. I can manage the bot, right? I could either, for branding, that's done on the team side. I can modify the bot messages here if I want to. Okay, just to show you guys where that is. So, okay, so there we go. Took us a while, but I'm back. My greeting, promote a topic. Actually, these are all my topics, although promoted topics are supported. And if I were to, start a conversation, it'll do its thing. Now you see this banner here. Your response was sent to app. One of the configuration items is we can turn that off. I'll show you how that's done, and we'll show you what it looks like, because I find it annoying. Some people care, some people don't care, but I find it annoying. So I'm going to show you how to turn it off. Oh, there it is again, right? So I'll show you guys that. And you'll also notice, let me go back a little bit here. You have three options, right? These are three topics. You can also control, and I'll show you this in a moment. I'm just putting some teasers out here. You can control how many items show up as lists before they get put behind another button. That's a three-dot button menu. All right, so just putting that out there. So that's configurable. So number of buttons and this banner appearing on or off are all configurable, and you can kind of see the topic does its thing. You can actually click on go to incident. It'll pop up another window that takes you to your portal view of that incident. Okay. Let's see, what else do I show you here? Oh, I guess I show you, I'll do it live. The other thing, I'll skip forward a bit. Yeah, I show you the system property. I'll do that to you live. I'll do that for you live. The other thing I want to show you video wise is if you go to your Teams admin console, so this is admin.teams.microsoft, you can manage your app, right? So you go to Teams app, manage apps, search for the Now Virtual Agent. And in order to, you can customize the app, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. But here's where you'll find all the information. You may need some of this information, right? Like the privacy policy URL, the app ID, right? The terms of use. And then let's see, the permissions of the app, we tell you there. And then if you want to brand the app, so you don't want, or I highly doubt you want the ServiceNow icon in your Teams integration app. So you can change the name, the description, the icon here. So all that is configurable on the Teams admin side. And once you click apply, it takes about at most an hour for it to flip over. But once it does, it does. And then the last thing I wanted to show you, though, again, we'll do it live on the video, is message extensions. So you see here, if I click on the three-dot menu, now, it won't be much use for me to send this search result back to the virtual agent, but just to show you, there is the three-dot menu. You click on Now Virtual Agent again, and you could search now via AI search. And you'll see search results pop up here. And if I wanted to, I could, I think that's the end of the video. If I wanted to, I could then send that to whomever I'm speaking to, obviously not back to the virtual agent. That's not very helpful. Awesome. So that's the recorded video. I'm now going to switch over to the live video to show you some configuration options, and then we'll show you what it looks like in Teams. So let me pause screen share again, minimize this video, bring up the other thing here. That's Teams. And where is my instance? Bear with me here. Okay, that's the slide deck. And my instance is back here. All right, let's resume share here. So here's my instance, right? Here's my conversational interfaces homepage. Let me go back to the page here. Let me first pause for questions. I see some blips on here, so let me just read. Our message extension only available in Vancouver, asking as we're in the middle of attempting to activate Teams integration. Yes, so well, message extensions are available to users because it's a Microsoft thing, but the ability to use AI search in your message extension, yes, that's only available in Vancouver. And as well, you need the Vancouver instance release version, and then you need the integration version 6.0, like I mentioned. And then Albert asks, hello, in case of upgrade from Utah, can we expect issues with the Teams integrations? Shall we reconfigure something due to the 6.0.6.1 release? No, there are no issues with the Utah release, at least not the latest one, probably 5 dot something. So there's no issues. But again, if you want just to stay up to date, as I always recommend, right, as well as getting access to the new message extensions feature, I recommend updating to 6.0 once you're on Vancouver. What's the best way to have virtual agent set up across multiple instances when you have only one tenant? So that is possible. I don't know if there's a best way, but there is a way. Let me think here to have, so you want multiple instances across one tenant. Yeah, so there's no big deal. Whatever the way I installed it for that one instance, you can do it over and over again for multiple instances for that one single tenant. You could also do it the other way. You can have multiple tenants in one instance as well. So just look at the documentation. It tells you how to do each way. We have customers wanting to do right both things. So both are possible. So also, we only have the Teams integration set up in dev. We're getting close, ready to clone. What steps do we need to take to preserve the dev setup so it doesn't get overwritten? Right. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, there is a way to have both your dev instance and your, let's say, prod instance both ping the tenant, the same Microsoft tenant. Again, just look to the Microsoft, I'm sorry, not the Microsoft documentation, our documentation for the same process there. And time permitting, we can maybe look at it together. Is there any option yet for adding multiple VA integrations for lower environments? Yes, there is a way to do it. That's what the person ahead just asked. Yeah, you've done it via self-configured bots. That's also possible because then you would have one instance with a self-configured bot, one instance with now virtual agents. So yeah, that's possible. So yeah, we can change that. Can the shape of the icon be changed from the hexagonal shape? I think I don't know. I think the hexagon comes from Microsoft, not from ServiceNow. So that's a Microsoft question. You can try to change the icon, and if that doesn't work, then probably not, because again, I think that's Microsoft Teams' design pattern there. Do I have to use Virtual Agent to integrate with Teams? Is it possible to just use webhooks? What I want to be able to do is perform ServiceNow approvals and update tickets in Teams. It is possible to use webhooks, but the integration is a lot easier. And with the integration, with the virtual integration, yes, it is possible to perform approvals and update tickets via the virtual agent. Now, if you don't want to use the virtual agent to perform approvals and to update tickets, then I think, I suppose you're going to have to use webhooks. I know that, I'm aware there is an ITSM integration or an IT service management integration with with Microsoft Teams, but I'm not sure if they have use cases such as approvals and update tickets. But certainly the virtual agent integration does. And to note, the integration, the the conversational integration with Teams uh, does not require it is it supports Virtual Agent Lite. So if all you want to do is search and and open tickets, right, which is the only thing you're able to do for Virtual Agent Lite, then you can still do that via Teams. Okay, so just a shout out there. In your experience, how do you allow other teams to own and maintain the conversations without relying on internal admins or internal developers? So that goes into a bit into like virtualization governance, which is a bit outside the scope here. But it's probably a good question for the community. I wonder how other organizations do it. But I believe that goes back to governance and using scopes and stuff and such for the virtualization designer. Okay, so that probably goes to that level. And then finally, someone, I think they had a question or a comment in chat. Wise icon, ship, stop sign, hexagon. Yeah, we addressed that. Shameless plug for my idea. What is your idea? Our users have been vocal about you when they have received an actionable notification and don't respond to it. As of now, there's no way to disable that message. Yeah, fair. If you all like that idea, upvote it. Awesome. So with that, let's go to the instance. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things, right? So let's go to system properties because there are all those system properties I told you about, right? That we can change. So the first one I wanted to show you, and you can see some of them already because I've sorted by last updated. If you want to hide that response sent to app banner, that gray banner, you want to go to this system property, hide underscore, there's a prefix here, hide underscore teams underscore response underscore message. Right now set to false. Let's set that to true because we want to hide it. So I click into here. It will require a scope change. So we'll just change the scope here and we'll probably stay in that scope for a while. So this is a property to turn on and off the confirmation banner. So let's change that to true because we want to hide it. Okay. The other system property I wanted to show you was, remember I told you about you could limit how many buttons appear in a list, right? So that system property is called picker button list. I'm typing asterisk here because I'm looking for a system property that contains that. And it doesn't appear. Did I type something wrong? Contains. There it is. Picker button low limit. Sorry, not list. Limit. So yeah, there it is. So right now set to 4. I could, just for the sake of demoing purpose, set it to very low, set it to 2, and you'll see what it looks like. I could turn it up. I could turn it up to like I think 8 or 10 or something. You don't want it too high, otherwise it looks weird. But I can turn it down to show you all what it looks like. And then remember for message extensions, I talked about how to limit search results to only show what's available for guest users, right? So let's show you that one. That is message. I'm using asterisk again, message underscore extension underscore guest, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, it's a longer system property here. This one I know is documented. I found this one in docs. And yeah, this is the full name here, guest access only. And when this flag set to true, message extension will always work in guest privilege. I've set to false. I'll leave it as false. Just that way, because I don't have any items that are guest only. But if you did, and if you want to happen, you set this to true. All right, so just showing you guys where this is. And then the last system property I'll show you is how to override bot instance installs. So as intuited or as referenced earlier, if you have your tenant installed in one instance, if you don't configure it a certain way, which again is in the documentation, if I were to go to Just go that to docs now. Let's see, of integration with Teams. Yeah, so here is how you integrate multiple ServiceNow instances with a single Microsoft Teams tenant. And you're right, it does appear like you do need to use the self-configured bot, because if you try to install just the Now Virtual Agent in multiple instances, it's going to override the previous instance. Now, sometimes, um, the previous instance, you no longer have access to that previous instance. Maybe it died, or maybe, for whatever reason, and then you get stuck, right? You can't install it in a new instance because it's still in the old instance, right? So you can allow overrides of installations if you need to, also via system properties. So that is called enable VA override. So this basically allows, again, enable, disable, override of bot instances. So right now it's set to false. But if I set it to true, and had my VW tenant been installed on another instance and it wasn't uninstalled on the other instance, I could still override it to install onto this instance. Okay. So to avoid overrides, you can uninstall the Teams integration from, let's say this was a dev instance. I'll show you how that's done. You go to settings. And I'm sorry, I'm running low on time here, but I'll try to speed it up a bit because I still want to show you what Teams looks like. um, right, here's a three-dot menu. If you want to remove the integration, you can click remove here, and then I can install this tenant onto another instance, right? If I don't remove it here, then in my new instance, let's pretend this was like VC Vancouver 2, I can set this to true, and then I can install the VW Chen integration on this new instance, and it'll override and it'll like forcibly pull it from this old instance and install it in the new instance. Okay, if you need to do that, this is a system property to do so. All right. So with that, let's go over to the Microsoft Teams here. And I changed to several system properties. I don't think it might have taken effect. Let's take a look here. So let me type hi to start a conversation, or hello. I could have typed whatever, really. And you'll notice all those topics, GAI test and whatever, they've now been hidden away. There's only two things showing. If I want to show everything, I need to click show me everything. Yeah, so they're the rest of the topics. You'll notice when I say, let's see, email issues, or let's see, I'll check IT ticket status and click submit. I don't have that response sent to app banner anymore. I turned that off, right? I hidden it. So that's also a good thing. So those are just some of the things that are configurable. You can change the behavior of the bot. And then message extensions. Let me show you that real quick. So if I go to chat, well, let me chat with someone else here. Let me chat with Beth Anglin. So here is message extensions. Good question, Eric. I'll get to that in a moment. I can open up that app here. I could type, search for what is spam. And I think I have a KB. Well, while that's appearing, Eric, so that is safe harbor that is coming in a future integration release. So not today, but you will soon, because we get complaints about that, and that's a fair call out there. So yes, but on the roadmap, safe harbor. So here you have message extensions. So now I can, if I was talking to Beth Anglin, it's like, yeah, if you don't know what spam is, here is spam. I can send that to Beth as a message. Beth now sees this. I can click view more, and it opens up it's either me or Beth can open this up, and we'll have to log in incognito now. If I can log in, I will see the knowledge article. So that's message extensions, very helpful if you're chatting whether with another employee or maybe with a guest user, right? If they want to know what spam is, if they want to order something from the catalog that is guest enabled, they can do so. So yeah, that's all the time I had. So again, thank you for bearing with me here. I'll go to our Q&A slide here just to see if there are any other questions. I'll stay on for just a couple more minutes, but just to call out here in terms of logistics, our last Academy of the Year is in 2 weeks. In December 12th, I believe Samyukta will be presenting that. And we have no Academy on the 26th. So the 26th is the day after Christmas, and we are not going to do an Academy there. So December 12th will be the last one. And then January 4th, please be on the lookout for in your email or the community forum. We will start a whole new schedule in 2024. It may be the same invite. If it is, we will look forward to seeing you in January. If it isn't, don't worry. We will try to send you an email address or an email notifying you of any new scheduling. And yeah, I don't see any other questions. I believe we've addressed them all. So with that, thank you for your time and have a great rest of your day.